Welcome to Living Well. Can you believe that the holidays are already here and it is time to go into the kitchen and to begin to prepare some meals for the family, for your friends? We know that during the holidays, it's very, very tempting to eat some very unhealthy foods and even sometimes overeat the healthy food. So today, we're going to talk about some nutritious and some delicious foods that you can prepare and eat in moderation. So I just want to remind you that Living Well is for educational purposes only. Yes, we want to educate and share with you knowledge that we've learned from the Bible through research and even our personal experiences. But we are not medical doctors. We do not diagnose, assess, treat any condition. So you may hear something today that sounds really interesting, and you may need to get more information from your practitioner. So today, our presenters are Emilyn Mark and Josephine Johnson. Both of them have presented on our programs before. And today they're going to talk about what they're cooking up in their kitchen for the holidays that's nutritious and delicious. Welcome, Emilyn, and welcome, Josephine. We are so excited to hear what you've been cooking up for the holiday meal. And so I'm going to turn it over to both of you.
Thank you.
So who's going first? Emilyn, you or Josephine?
Is Emily okay?
Sure. So Emilyn has her mic
I
closed.
guess I was muted. I didn't realize. I'm sorry. I was muted. I was talking, but I was muted. Yes. So thank you, Dr. Sankey, for having us and for that introduction. And thank you, Josephine, for joining in with me to do this. I just want to express how delightful I am to be here. I love eating, but I always want to make sure that when I eat, I do not feel bloated and tired and sleepy and just awful. Because when we eat, we should not feel like that. We should feel energetic, and we should be able to stay awake and, feel good, not bloated and stuffed. So I just had a big meal just a while ago, and I'm telling you, I am not drowsy, I'm not sleepy, I am not feeling stuffed. What I ate was just healthy. So we need to eat, prepare our foods with intention. Intention so that when we eat it, when we consume it, it's not going to make us sick. I know many times, sometimes you eat and then you push yourself away from the table and you feel, oh my goodness, I want to go to sleep right now. Shouldn't feel like that. So I have a couple, samples of, well, I shouldn't say samples because you cannot sample it. I have a couple of recipes that I have made. So these recipes contain healthy ingredients. So if anyone eating it will feel healthy, will not feel like this stuff. When we have to prepare a healthy meal, one of the hardest things I find is to find a healthy alternative for the protein part of our meal. That's always a problem. So I found a protein alternative that I want to share with you today. So I'm going to share screen and I'm going to go to my PowerPoints that I just made up, my PowerPoints that I made here. Let me see if I can open up this. And oh boy, I'm sorry. Okay, so I found this recipe that it's a meatloaf. It's a meatloaf. So this is what it looks like. This is the website I got it from, plant-based cooking show.com. Anybody can go online and look this up, plantbasedcooking.com /2021 classic vegan meatloaf. And this meatloaf is made from one of the ingredients I want to talk about is buckwheat. Now, I heard about buckwheat before, but I never really realized how good buckwheat is. So I just want to give you a little rundown on buckwheat. First of all, it does not contain gluten. So I know some of us have some gluten intolerance, and if we're looking for recipes that, maybe sometimes we want to make a meatloaf, they might have stuff like you might have to add wheat flour, or you might have to add something that is not gluten-free. This recipe is gluten-free. So buckwheat does not contain gluten. One of the things I found is it has all the 8 essential amino acids. You heard that word essential. That means our body does not make it. So we have to get it from our food. So buckwheat has all the 8 essential amino acids in it. I know sometimes I've heard people said in order for you to, if you're a vegetarian, you have to eat meat. You have to get some of your amino acids from meat, but you do not. This has all the 8 essential amino acids in there. It's protein easily absorbed, can be absorbed easily. Sometimes we eat and our food, takes longer to digest because our bodies just cannot absorb all the ingredients in it. But this buckwheat, it's contain protein that our bodies can easily absorb it. It contains lysine. Now, this is another amino acid that we need. And it is full of lysine. It has a low glycemic index. What does that mean? That means that when we eat it, we don't have to produce a whole lot of insulin at one time to get it breaks into carbohydrates. We need carbohydrates into the sugar. We need that sugar to get into the cells. So it does not break down quickly. It produces a whole lot of insulin at the time and cause a high and cause your blood sugar to go up. It has a low glycemic index where it slowly gets into your system. The sugar slowly absorbs into your body so you can be able to control that. It also contains, it can help lower the bad cholesterol. We all know that cholesterols are high cholesterol, especially the LDL, that's the low density lipoproteins. They're unhealthy. Those are the ones that clog our arteries. And buckwheat can help lower our bad cholesterol. It's a prebiotic. We have heard a lot about probiotics. Probiotics, we always hear that we need to take probiotics, especially after you take antibiotics, we need probiotics. But we also need the prebiotics to help make up the probiotics, to help balance that off. So buckwheat helps produce good prebiotics. And of course, fiber. Fiber acts as a broom. And in order for us to clean our colon and to eliminate properly, we need our colons to be swept, just like we take a broom and sweep the floor in our homes. We need that fiber to help sweep out all the impurities and the waste so that we can excrete it and have a healthy gut. Buckwheat is full of potassium. Potassium is needed for muscle contractility. Potassium is needed for a whole different function, lots of functions in our body. If we have low potassium, we can end up with cardiac issue, cardiac problems, irregular heart rate. We need potassium in our bodies so that we can control all of that. And also, buckwheat is full of vitamin B, vitamin B2 and vitamin B3. So you see just this one ingredients in that meatloaf gave us such a wide variety of good, healthy, substance. So we need to eat intentionally, as I said. Make sure when you eat, eat intentionally. Buckwheat not only contains just those 10 things I mentioned, but it also has a high level of antioxidants, and some of the antioxidants are rutin and quercetin, and these antioxidants, from what they have written about, that they can even help with cancer, lowering some cancer rates. It also, I know, help in building good and healthy cells in our bodies. If you have good healthy cells, you can have a much healthier life. Not have a whole bunch of diseases. So this buckwheat is an excellent source for that. Another ingredients in that meatloaf is quinoa. Quinoa, a lot of us are maybe familiar with quinoa, but some of the health benefits of quinoa, it's stated that it may lower the risk of chronic diseases. Those chronic diseases like high blood pressure, diabetes, even arthritis, all those chronic diseases. It may help lower the risk factor for that. Also help with weight loss. This is something that all of us struggle with. It can help with weight loss because of the fiber content. It helps control your blood sugar and all of that too. And I just said it may also help control your blood sugar. So those are two wonderful ingredients I just mentioned that's in that meatloaf. Also, I have in the meatloaf, there is also black beans I have in that meatloaf. So good source of protein. I know Dr. Sankey, we all met, we are here right now in Palm Coast at a friend's house, and we had, we just finished eating, and they tasted my meatloaf. So Dr. Sankey, can you give a review on what that meatloaf tastes like?
Well, I think you should stop screen sharing so I can show them that I have it on my plate. I really do have it on my plate, and I'm going to eat more of it. What I like okay. So here we are. I have the meatloaf on my fork. We had it for dinner. It looked just like the picture that Emilyn showed you. Moist, flavorful. I think she put some smoked paprika in it.
Mm-hmm.
It is so delicious and nutritious. Thank you, Emilyn.
Okay.
I'll give it a 10.
Okay, Dr. Sankey, thank you so much for that. Yes, so that meatloaf was an excellent meatloaf, if I might say so myself. So as I said, the recipe, I found it online. You can go online and find that recipe. Is not hard to make, and the ingredients are not difficult to find. I think they said you need to use buckwheat goat, something like that is called. It's just the one that is the hull is off. I think that's what it is. You can find buckwheat in your health food store. Quinoa, you can find, I even find quinoa at Walmart, at the regular grocery store, because it's such something that is so prevalent now. And black beans, you find that everywhere. Those are and some mushrooms I added to it. That was the 3 main ingredients. And you just add your, what you call it, your seasoning to it. So that was one of the things that I did. Finding a good protein supplement is always difficult, but this is a good one to have under your belt, to have in your books of recipes.
Emilyn,
and another thing that
Emilyn? Can you show the picture again for those who came on later, just so they can see what the meatloaf looked like? Because yours looked just like that first picture you showed.
Okay. I think I'm having a problem going back to my.
That's okay.
Sharing my screen. So I have to go and maybe delete some of these.
No, that's okay, Emilyn. I just thought it would be nice for them to see what the meatloaf looked like. You talked about the ingredients.
Yeah.
And your meatloaf looks just like that one.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I cannot go back. Yeah. Anyhow, so that was one thing. Another thing that I made was a pumpkin pie. So the pumpkin pie, I'm sorry, my screen is not moving. The pumpkin pie, what I made it from was what do you call it? Coconut. I use coconut cream instead of milk. Coconut cream, and I added also some coconut palm sugar. The reason why I use coconut palm sugar, because coconut palm sugar has a lower glycemic index compared to regular sugar. And those were the two ingredients I put in that would be different from you making a pumpkin pie. So I just take a regular pumpkin, what do you call it, crushed pumpkin, added the coconut milk to it, coconut cream, and then I added the pumpkin spices and the coconut palm sugar. And I also use, instead of regular eggs, I use flaxseed egg. Flaxseed egg is easy to make. All I did, I took 1 tablespoon of flaxseed with 3 tablespoons of water, mix it in well, let it sit for 5-10 minutes. I put it in the fridge, so it can thicken up a bit, and then I add it to my batter. And I tell you, Dr. Sankey can again show you my pumpkin pie. And she can tell you how it tastes.
So this pumpkin pie is better than any pumpkin pie I have ever had. I'm not a pumpkin pie fan. I really don't. I prefer sweet potato pie. But when I tasted this pumpkin pie today, this is delicious. Melts in your mouth, not too much pumpkin, not really sweet. It is delicious, Emilyn. Thank you very much for sharing your pumpkin pie with us today.
Okay, well, thank you, Dr. Sankey, for your excellent review. Let's see if
You get a 10 on this one as well.
Okay, I think here's my pumpkin pie. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So this is the recipe for the pumpkin pie. I was trying to get to it. Right. So the recipe for the pumpkin pie is, I just put oh boy, I shouldn't have done that. Anyhow, it was a 1 can of crushed pumpkin. I just was on that screen. And some, as I said, coconut milk. Do not know why it went off again. And blend it all in, and voila, you have a good pumpkin pie. I'm going to look and see if I can find that recipe again, if you can come back up. But anyhow, as I said, when we eat, we need to make sure we do it intentionally, and we always make sure that we eat the best. Our food must contain the best ingredients, so that when we eat this food, we're going to feel healthy, we're going to feel good about ourselves. When we're feeling sluggish, and once you feel energetic, you can do so much things. You will feel like you can move the world. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Josephine, so that she can talk about all the wonderful creations that she did.
Emilyn, I'm just laughing because I didn't do any wonderful creations. I kept it simple. I've learned these days it's best to keep your food simple. So I did a salad, a vegetable salad, and a drink. And it's something that we can do easily, and our bodies can digest it without wondering, what is this coming down? So I did an easy vegan salad, vegetable salad, where I used 2 cups of the spring salad mix, 1 cup of sliced cucumber, a 1/4 cup julienne or ribbon carrots, 1 cup cherry or grape tomatoes, cut them in half red onion sliced, and a 1/3 cup pepitas, 1 avocado slice. And if you just imagine those ingredients in your mind, you can see that you have a lot of color. And these are things that we don't have to wonder, where am I going to get this ingredient from? They are right there in the store. Don't go overboard and make stuff, and when you finish, you are tired and you can't enjoy your meal. These are simple things. You can do your own dressing. You can make sure your dressing is made with good oils. You have avocado oil, olive oil, coconut oil. These are very good oils. And you can get a recipe, make your own salad dressing. So in this dressing, we have a lot of vitamin C. We have vitamin A, and a lot of, if you want to put some cheese on it, those of you who have cheese, if you have a vegan cheese, you want to do that, or you want to make it simple and leave it like that, the avocado gives it a very good taste. You can also sprinkle some lemon juice on it if you want, but use very good oils so that no soy oil, no cottonseed oil, and all those oils, they're not good oils to use for your salad and your lemon juice. You have your potassium, your fiber. Since we have vegetables, they're full of fiber, you can do that. It's very low in sugar because the vegetables don't have a lot of sugar. Vitamin C, calcium, iron. And you can add other, add other vegetables to it. You can customize your salad to how you want. You can put some tofu on it, some fried tofu or something like that. You can do some yogurt, almond yogurt or something. But it's up to you to make your salad how you want it. You don't always have to follow a recipe, but make sure that it's not something that's going to upset your stomach or something that you're not going to enjoy. So it's a simple vegan salad. So we didn't put any animal products on it. We just stayed with the plant-based foods, which is good for our body. The drink I chose is one of my favorite, which is sorrel drink. Everybody knows sorrel drink. I like my drink to be simple. I don't like mix-up drink. If you give me ginger beer, give me ginger beer. If you're going to give me sorrel, give me sorrel. Don't add anything else to it. Okay, so I want my body to know, oh, I'm drinking sorrel, not sorrel plus something, and then you have to wonder, what is that coming down? So I like to keep it simple. So when I make my sorrel back home, I made it here, and Dr. Sankey drank my sorrel once too. She seemed to be the tester for all the food. So she drank my sorrel. I'm not sure if Emilyn drank my sorrel, but Dr. Sankey drank it. I buy the sorrel here, but back where I'm from, when I worked at the hospital, I use the fresh, you pick them off of the the seed ourselves, and we make our sorrel for the patients, get sorrel at Christmas time, so they're not left out. So I put my sorrel in a container, put water, I throw in a little rice, ginger, cinnamon stick, cinnamon leaves, cloves, whole cloves. And then we let it sit for 2 to 3 days. And then we strain it and we sweeten it. And it's the bomb, as you like to say. It tastes very good. Someone showed me how to do that. So I'm not one for fruit punches and all the nugs, eggnogs, and all of those things. I like a simple drink. When I make it, I want it to be simple. And the sorrel has a lot of vitamin C in it, rich in antioxidants. It has magnesium, vitamin A, and K. It can be used as a detoxifier because of the vitamin C. And you can drink it hot as well. Did you know you can make a tea with it? Herbal tea with sorrel. So it can be used like that. But as I was doing some reading, it said to use in moderation. Like with anything else, don't overdo. Because if you drink it in large amounts, it can increase your risk for kidney stones. So if there's a good thing, overdoing it can also cause some not so good side effects. It's low in carbohydrate. It has iron in it, 122 calories for an 8 ounce. So for this Christmas, you don't have to do sorrel, you don't have to do the simple vegan salad or the meatloaf, but know that whatever you eat for this Christmas should be beneficial to your body and don't have any repercussions later. So we are here to help each other. And I'm hoping that what we have presented today might not be anything elaborate, but it's simple things that you can afford to make and don't regret that you made it or you ate it. So thank you.
Thank you, Emilyn, and thank you so much, Josephine, for sharing things that we can do, because that's what we're all about, talking about what we can do in order to live healthy and happy and holy lives. We know the Bible says, whatever you eat, drink, or do all to the glory of God. And what's exciting about this food and the drink and the salad that we've talked about today, they have ingredients in them that will benefit the body. I love what Emilyn said. Be intentional about eating, not just eating for taste, but eating so that your body can benefit from the nutrients, from the potassium, from the vitamin C. And we know we're actually in the flu, cold season. Vitamin C, the sorrel she mentioned, is high in vitamin C. And so those are very important dishes that we can do to live well. Any questions from our audience for Emilyn or for Josephine?
Hi, everybody. This is Joycelyn.
Hi.
Emilyn, can you tell us what you made the crust for the pie from?
So go ahead and open your mic, Emilyn, and she wants to know what you made the crust from. Go ahead and open your mic so that we can hear what that crust was made from.
So I'm sorry, I didn't realize I had my mic off. Yes, the crust. Okay, so the crust, what I took was, I took about 2.5 cups of almond flour. I used almond flour, and I used the I used some coconut oil. Instead of butter, I used coconut oil, and I used an egg, which was the flaxseed egg. I took 1 tablespoon of flaxseed to 3 tablespoons of water, and I mixed that all together. And I took a parchment paper. When I get it all in a ball, I took a parchment paper, laid on top of the parchment paper, and then I took another piece of parchment paper and laid on top of it and roll it out with my rolling pin. And I greased the bottom of the pie dish, and then I just place it in there and form it into the pie dish.
Thank you very much.
Sure, you're welcome.
Did you
And
bake
can you
it?
see my screen? Because I have the recipe for the pie. Are you,
Did
you all seen that?
Did
Not
you
right
bake
now.
the pie crust?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
you have to
made
bake
my
it.
own pie crust from almond flour.
Yeah, but
Did
did you
you-
bake
did-
it?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I baked the pie crust for about 10 minutes or so.
Okay.
And then I put the ingredients for the filling after I finished baking it. And then I put it back into the oven and bake it for about another hour. So it can cook.
Thank you.
Sure. Are you all seeing my screen? I have the recipe up for the pie crust.
Not yet.
You can
Okay,
see
so
me.
something I'm not doing right. I'm sorry. Are you all seeing that now?
Not yet.
Oh, boy.
Any other questions while we're waiting? Keep trying, Emilyn. We'll take any other questions while we're waiting. So it sounds like, when we talk about the meatloaf and we talk about the pumpkin pie, the salad and what we drink, so there's always a healthy substitute, or not even a substitute, but a healthy option is what I'll say to what we're putting on our tables for the holidays. And so if someone's asking you to bring a dish, let's say you're having a potluck dish or a luncheon or a dinner, feel free to go online, as Emilyn showed, and you can find many recipes there and really substitute them with some of the healthier ingredients that she mentioned. So Emilyn, we did see your screen just for a moment and now we don't.
Oh, you did? Oh, and I took it down. Oh, boy. Okay, let me go back to what I did.
So while she's doing that, I want to thank my friend Rosemary. She's online today. We're actually at her house in Palm Coast, and she invited us to come down. We're still here with her. We had a very enjoyable Sabbath service with a musical cantata. And then we're here sitting at her table having dinner with a lot of very flavorful foods. Healthy.
Did you see that?
Delicious foods. This is actually showing your, I think it looks like the ingredients to the pumpkin pie.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the ingredients to the pumpkin pie.
Okay.
So I took 1 can of pureed pumpkin, and I had another 1 can of coconut milk. I made sure it was the cream. And I did not use the brown sugar. I used the coconut palm sugar because that's a low glycemic sugar. And I put some pumpkin spices in there, some vanilla extract, and a little bit of salt. And I thicken it with the garbanzo flour. So you can, make it come together. Instead of using regular flour or cornstarch or something like that, I thicken it with the garbanzo flour. And it made a delicious pumpkin pie. All what we're trying to do is to show you ways that you can have a healthier substitute for the things that we love to eat. I'm not telling you do not eat pumpkin pie. You can do it where you can feel good after eating it. Because I know when I eat regular pumpkin pie, I feel so tired and sleepy because my blood sugar shoots up so high so quickly, and then it produces insulin. When it produces insulin, insulin is now rushed into my system to bring that sugar that I just consumed, and then it takes me down to a low, and I feel tired and sleepy. That is what happens when we eat simple refined foods. our bodies react in a way that makes us feel tired, drained. So by eating something that is more complex, low glycemic sugars, it doesn't give you that high and low with your insulin.
So there's a question, Emilyn, in the chat. It says, if you can't get palm sugar, what else can you use?
Oh, that's a good question. There are other sugars out there that, and I think it's a maca fruit sugar. Josephine, what other sugar that you had talked about? I think was
There's a monk fruit sugar, did you say?
Monk-
Emilyn?
Yes,
this
monk fruit.
monk
have the-
fruit.
They have
Monk
the gold.
fruit. Yes.
They have the golden one as well. They have white and have the golden.
Right. So they have other types of sugar. The monk fruit is one, and then they have those alcohol sugars like erect. What are those other sugars? Josephine, that they have.
Yeah, erythritol.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So those are other sugars that doesn't raise your glycemic level that quickly. It's low glycemic. I do not like agave or corn syrup, of course. Those are sugars that are going to raise your, although they say agave does not raise your index, your glycemic index as much, but because of the fact it has so much fructose, and we have talked about fructose a lot of times on this program, fructose affects your liver. It digests differently from the regular table sugar. It goes straight to your liver. In consuming lots of fructose can cause fatty liver and other liver diseases. So we try to stay away from those sugars. So that's why I tend to go to the monk fruit or to the coconut palm sugar or xylitol, those other alcohol sugars. Now, if for chance you cannot find any of those, then try, I guess you're going to have to use the other sugar. I would use the brown sugar, which does have some molasses in it, which does, a little healthier than just the regular white cane sugar that is bleached and have chemicals in it. So that's what I will use. I don't know if Josephine has any other thoughts.
No, Emilyn, what you said is just fine.
Okay.
So we know the holidays are coming. People are going to bake. They may invite you to dinner. And what I would say is maybe try some recipes that you use some other healthier options. You don't even have to advertise. If I did not know that Emilyn made this pumpkin pie with no eggs, flaxseed eggs is what she calls it, but it's flaxseed, and that she didn't use any dairy products in it, I would not have known that it was strictly of all healthy ingredients. Likewise with the meatloaf, sometimes we do substitute products, but all of those ingredients that she had in the meatloaf were actual pure ingredients. The buckwheat I didn't know about, and so now I know. I've heard of it over the years, but didn't realize the value that it has. So again, when you go to the grocery store or look online to see what other recipes that may contain buckwheat, that you can try it in those different recipes.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, when I was doing my research, they were comparing buckwheat with oatmeal, and they were saying buckwheat is even much better than oatmeal because of the fiber content and of all the nutrient that buckwheat contain. So we need to include more buckwheat in our diet. As you know, it says buckwheat, but it is not gluten. So I don't know why they call it buckwheat. It's not wheat.
But there's not wheat in it. Okay.
It's not wheat in it. Yes.
Okay, that's a good clarification. Thank you so much for saying that, Emilyn. All right, so Emma, I'm going to have you stop doing your screen share, and then we're going to see if there's any more questions, and then we'll do a little wrap up. Any other questions about how we can eat healthy during the holidays, nutritious, delicious foods in moderation? Because
It's
let me tell
true.
you, it was so tempting not to overeat today. There were so many food choices.
It's Joycelyn again. What is your spill on stevia sugar for sugar?
Stevia, it says
Stevia.
stevia.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, stevia, that's a good, thanks for bringing it up, Joyce. Stevia is a good sugar also because it's made from a plant, from the leaf of a plant. I do supplement also with stevia. Just remember when you get stevia, read the ingredients because nowadays they have stevia that is mixed with other products. And you might just think you're just getting stevia and it has other ingredients in it. So read your labels. It must just be pure stevia. Pure
Okay.
stevia. It's a low glycemic sugar also.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Great.
Thanks for
All
asking,
right.
Joyce.
Any other questions?
I guess somebody says, where do you find buckwheat? Okay, I got my buckwheat from the health food store. And maybe if you can find a store that sells things in bins that have lots of grains and they sell it in bins, maybe they might have buckwheat there too. But I went to the health food store and they have bins where you can get your different grains from, and they had buckwheat as one of the grains. And it must be buckwheat goat, G-R-O-A-T, something like that. That is the one that is hulled.
Okay. Well, we hope you found this very helpful today because it is our prayer and our goal that we will live well. And the way we live well is by what we choose to eat, drink, and do. And so Emilyn and Josephine, thank you so much for sharing with us recipes, practical recipes, easy recipes, not a lot of ingredients. Of course, we know the more ingredients, sometimes we get more into the unhealthy. So we're going to, if there's not any more questions, I'll check the chat box just to be on the safe side. We'll take prayer request.